Well, victory, I suppose. We brought down a green dragon. We brought down Corrine. It looks like a rather large bloodbath in this area. So what is this trepidation? I really tried with Bezlith, but I just can't stand her. And the first moment I get to kill her, I don't know what I'm going to do about my brother. And I see a lot of mistrust from Filnyr now in my attempts to protect him. And then behind our backs, Schnobik turns Jesus of Waterdeep into a vampire. The two people I trust most in this realm. I just hope there's some way to move forward. On to Dungeon Dads.
Heroes rise, heroes fall. I see them on the front line, standing tall. They're risking life and limb to answer the call. But what they fighting for? Don't know, don't care. Just along for the ride, but everyone must stand. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna win inside.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to Dungeon Dads, Every War Must End, episode 87.
Woo!
As always, I'm your DM, Tom Blaylock, and I'm joined today, as always, as ever, by Tim Carr playing Filnyr Omajira, possibly the OG. What's up, Tim?
What is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
OG stands for Original Gilbrainy,
Yeah,
by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone knows, it's me, right?
I thought it was Old Goblin.
Old Goblin. Back in my market days. Sam Frank playing Schnobik the Bastard. What's up, Sam?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. COVID can't
Big
keep me down.
reveals. I know. I was gonna say, man, you got to like revel in some of your past choices in the last episode. I think it's gonna come back in this one too. I'm sure.
Oh boy. oh, if it ain't the consequences of my choices.
That's right. And
Is it gonna be that
John
meme
Watson.
of like me sowing? Haha, awesome. This is great. Me reaping. Wait, what is this? What the fuck?
Wait, what? Who took a leak and it took a dump in my pants? Who was that? Oh, and finally, last but not least, John Watson playing the wizard Ionus Silhavine. What's up, John?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right. Doing okay. So before we jump into this, I mean, you remember what kind of where you are. We're in the Gilbrain Wilds. You're in Havis's city. I want to do something that all DMs have to do every once in a while, and that is an information focus. This is not a dump. This is like making sure we're all on the same page about where we are, clues that are in the game, where the arrows I think are pointing and where the arrows possibly you think are pointing before we jump right into it. So here's my first question. The charneled items, the ascended ore is obviously very important, right? You got the Godstone. You're not sure where Havis Corvair is. I think Schnobik believes he's in the Godstone. Is that correct?
I think it's certainly possible.
Possible, right?
And I know we don't know where he is.
Yes, that's right. So just a little reminder, all the Ascended Ore has been retuned with the exception of what? Do you remember which pieces of Ascended Ore that you know about that have not been
The
tuned?
Godstone.
The Godstone, correct.
Filnyr's piece.
Yeah, my piece.
That's right.
And the Robert Hark.
And the Robert Hark, which you're not sure what it is, maybe a mace, maybe something else. Just you haven't seen it, you don't have all the information about it. I think I revealed at some point it was a scepter of some kind, a weapon of some kind.
Yeah, I think so. Sounds right.
Okay. All right. So we're on the same page there. those pieces, do you know how time travels in those pieces? So in the Godstone, do your characters know how time moves in the Godstone?
I don't think our characters do.
Well, we were told that Abel's been in there thousands of years.
Yeah.
So,
So things are moving much faster in the Godstone than they
Right.
are in your
I was
world.
I was
right?
going to say, based on that interstitial we played as well, where Abel had been
Yeah.
in there and there were wizards popping out, that also seemed to be the case on a meta level.
Yeah. And the Ascendador that you have, Filnyr, do you know how time moves there?
I don't think we've traveled into it, so I don't think we have. Well,
you communicated with
isn't that where
What's his
Paraso
name?
is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Paraso
okay.
and Faust.
So
And
Paraso and
Faust.
Faust are in there, and they've been battling for many, many years. So I think it
Yeah.
also does go faster. I don't know if it's the same speed faster, but it,
But it's moving quicker than
Right.
your current reality, right?
Yeah.
And so the Hearthstone, you just don't know about that one.
Right.
Okay. Big bads that are in the world that you are pretty sure are big bads. We know Grumsh,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Who else?
I mean,
Havis
Havis,
Corvair.
obviously.
Havis Corvair.
Robert Hark.
Robert Hark is something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna.
you haven't
we
met
know
him.
he's gonna
You
do
haven't-
something in the guild. He's gonna do something at Robert's gift,
That's right.
where he's gonna
Yeah.
kill a
Are
whole
we
bunch of people.
counting Ehi and Donatus?
Ehi Donatus, yeah, could be.
Are we
Could be.
counting Griggly and Helspeth? Maybe.
Might as well.
Might as well, right?
I mean, they're on
and
the
Better
you
not
list.
have
count
a-
Bezlith.
They're sus, as the kids say these
They're
days.
sus.
Yeah. They're sus. They're suspended in time. So I'm pretty sure that's what that means. So
They are among
so-
us.
they are in fact among us. Okay, so I think we're getting there. You do have speaking relationships with them, and there's some like minor powers. You've got Nimrod Tolkien out there, Syl Moonbrook, Galwinia. There's some new information that was revealed
Yep.
Mhm.
Some
from
odd memories.
Kareen, and from the memories. So okay, I think we're kind of on the same page now. All right.
All right. Well,
Do you have
one-
questions for me before we hit it?
Yeah.
Okay, do it.
So I'm thinking how to ask this. Some of these other planes are like other material planes,
Yes,
and some are not,
that is correct.
right? Like,
Yep,
first off, Abel is dead.
that's right.
Some spirit or essence went into the Godstone and has existed for thousands of years, which
That's
means
right.
whatever is in the Godstone is not. It is not of the same stuff. You know what I mean?
That is correct. That is correct.
So that I think that goes to my is Havis Corvair in the Godstone theory. Like, can you bring a person from the Godstone out into the Gilbrain? Like,
Oh,
it
Grumsh just
seems
come out of there.
unclear.
Grumsh
Yes.
came out of there, right?
He did,
yeah, Grumsh came out of there.
He's a god, though.
but he's supposed to be something else.
He's a
Yeah.
god, and it was being used as a prison for Grumsh, right? So very specifically, he had been like trapped there, right?
But if you've got an army of 1,000 wizards or whatever in the Godstone, it is unclear to me that you could just take those guys with you anywhere.
I 100% agree that this is a question, right? I'm not going to answer this question, but this is definitely a question, right?
Whereas
Um,
a lot of the ones, especially the ones that Havis was more interested in, seem more kind of directly transferable, right?
yes. Yeah.
I can grow a crop here, or the Gilbrain in comparison to Faerun, right? Like,
Right. That's right. Yeah.
I can make a coin here and bring it with me there, and it's still the same thing of the same stuff.
Well, and I think that some of this will play out. I don't know, and I want it to be satisfying all along the way. I think there's been enough like knowledge about these planes now that you all have collected that a particularly powerful intellect is able
Okay.
to bend the what is it?
Sorry, I thought you wanted me to do something.
Oh, to keep up. Is that what you said? No, a powerful intellect
Yeah.
is able to shape the inside of these stones, create these planes, make them material planes. So I don't think it's necessarily that the Godstone is not one of these things, but certainly when Abel went into it, it was not the kind of material plane where people could come out of. That said, you guys played a one shot where those characters that you played certainly did leave like one of these planes, although it was in the Godstone, it remained inside the Godstone, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
For those of you that are not on Patreon, that's where that interstitial exists.
Yes. Yeah.
It was released as a bonus episode some time ago.
Yeah.
Where did we leave things with Adair? Speaking of people who are out in the world.
Yeah. So Adair basically realized the power and the influence that you all were wielding and had decided basically to head back to Adair City and make it seem like he'd won the war. He'd done the thing he was there to do. He had rid Lakeshire of the demons and the Gith. He appointed Ionus Silhavind as governor of the Breen Valley, and ostensibly that means that he is now an Adairan citizen. He also crowned him king of Monterre. So, a lot of good that does Ionus, like that's kind of empty, but I don't think we could say that Adair is off the board, but
we hit him with the Guile victory screen in Street Fighter 2. It's like, go home and be a family man.
The problem
Wow.
is the problem though is I don't know if Ionus and Schnobik might not care, but Ionus is definitely not happy about the fact that he took Goliath back with him.
yeah, that's right. Goliath went back to Adair City with
So
him.
He's still on the list.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, it's complicated. Like
It's
Goliath,
complicated, and
yeah.
there's conversations that need to happen. He doesn't need to be killed, but
No.
He
but
doesn't need to be killed. He just needs
But he
maybe
does-
to have some sharp words. Yeah.
he needs to be dealt with.
Well, and then I guess that leads to the other larger conspiracy that you were, made aware of at some point. I'm trying to think of when this happened. I guess in season 2, that Goliath and Ionus's mother,
Shandalin.
Shandalin, that the two
Wanted
of
to
them
marry him
had
to the-
conspired to kill their husbands and marry Ionus off to a general in Hark City, and essentially their plan was to have Ionus become, the king of all things that they were pulling the strings of, right? So that Goliath would be in Adair City, that Shandalin would be over Monterre, that Ionus would be over the Breen and Hark City. Essentially, that he would be the new Robert Hark. That was their plan.
Which
And-
also makes Shandalin somebody on the list, something that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things here. Now, you definitely loved her more than your father, so it's hard
Again,
to know.
she doesn't need to be killed.
Sure.
But things need to be put right, and plans that were put in place are going to stop.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're kind of on the same page now, like with all the different strings that are out there. You are still sorry. Go ahead, Sam. You had a question.
Well, maybe this is just something for in-app, but it's unclear to me where we are with control rods and Bezlith and alchemists.
Okay, this will be in the app, but you definitely have a control rod, and and the information has come that all the alchemists had access to control rods, and that each control rod controls all of them. So it was definitely not what you thought it was going to be. They're basically remote controls that have been combined into some kind of magic wand situation that is able to assert control over the various charneled beings that are occupying golems throughout the Breen, although they may not be in the Breen now. The thing you have to know is what? Their name. And so you saw that Bezleth Lueltel's whole name was put into the control rod that Corrine had, and so that may end up being something, I don't know, down the line that matters. That first and last name are part of this, a way to control people. And you only saw a way to execute. So it was, the control rods may not be fine motor control. They may just be just kill switches. Like,
I thought I'm glad I'm glad you said that, because I assumed it was just execute the command.
oh yeah, no, it's definitely
No.
it's a kill switch. It's definitely a kill switch. And it's I mean, look, they're smart, but in order to have these things work and have these things work with multiple different golems, it's definitely it's dumber than if you had made your own clay golem and were doing applying dominate person style, like, fine motor control over the golem the way you could if you made your own golem. This makes it a lot easier for Havis to have lieutenants who can do his bidding out in the world.
I have one final question before we jump into all that. This would be something that Ionus would be thinking about now that the fighting is over. Do we know, I might have missed this, but do we know what is messing with all the people in the water? Is that Ehi, or do we know anything about that yet?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, when you say messing with the people in the water,
Killing all the people, there are bodies that are floating to the surface
Yes.
around Lakeshire.
that is, you have not figured out that, although there were many more bodies right after.
There
the
were more
control
bodies
of-
than there were. Like, it seemed like bodies were coming up from ages ago. Not
ago.
from,
Yes.
like,
That's right.
That's why I was wondering, have we figured out if that's has somebody hinted that that's Ehi, or do we just don't know?
I mean,
what's
people
going
have hinted like, that they think that that's Ehi.
Okay.
The question is, like, why are all these super old bodies floating up now?
on. Sure.
Does that mean she's getting more powerful or less powerful? Like, what does this actually mean?
Right.
And I think that's, your mind is in a good place with that too. There's a lot of things to hold on to, and that's a good one to hold on to.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
all right, listeners,
So-
we got all that.
I hope you got all that. This is
We
how the game is played.
You can have the luxury of the rewind button. Should you need any of
Yeah.
that again?
Yeah. So you have found this chest which has the maps in it, and Schnobik, like, sees that there are a bunch of maps over time in something that references Abel.
Yeah, you had. I wrote down that there were 7 locations that begin with Abel.
Yes,
Like, the
that's
maps
right.
had, I guess, Abel's name on them.
That's
in
right.
some capacity.
That's right. And so you definitely have, they are clearly teleportation circle addresses on these things. The sort of book of maps, if you flipping through, you can see that they are all of the same areas, changing over time. So it looks, even though the maps themselves are very much contemporary with each other, they are definitely a city that starts as like 6 buildings, and then there's a map where it's 26 buildings, and there's a map where it's 1,000 buildings, and there's a map where it's walled in, and then there's a map where it looks like it's fucking ruins. So you sort of see that there is an age progression on all of these maps, and you find the other, well, what you think are the rest of the control rods. They were all with the bodies of the alchemists. You find the remaining talismans there. I will tell you the way that these things work is you don't have to attune to them, but you can only be using one per 24-hour period. So you won't be able to get 4 different feats.
You can't get. It's not like
you'll be able to use one a day.
Got it. I was kind of hoping you get like 1 hour. Oh, you have 3 more. You have 3 more hours, one at a time.
Yeah, I think we'll just limit it that way.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you could give them out. Who knows? You could like reconstitute the core of alchemists with your friends in Lake and Hearth or something.
Yeah, if Filnyr trusted anybody now, he might do that.
Yeah.
There's only one person I know who can help us deal with these devices, but I don't know if he's even in the Gilbrain any longer. Dennis, the rod man.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. He's been holding on to that for a little bit. I can tell he's been holding on to that.
Oh my God.
Do you what? You put your head in your hands, Ionus. Do you have a rod man?
Oh, you don't see Ionus. Ionus is in his tiny hut.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Ionus is over in his tiny hut. He's doing his thing over there.
Filnyr, have you a rod man?
I have a rod. Why do you call me man?
Man.
Damn it. Well, I must speak with my lady.
Yes, speak with your lady.
Can I roll a stealth roll for how subtle my leave taking is?
Yeah, sure.
That's a 13.
Oh, I love it.
That's about as non-stealth. That's just like an Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
that's about as non-stealthy as Schnobik gets.
Yeah. So, I mean, you both see Schnobik like duck behind a few, like some furniture that has fallen down from the tower, and then you don't see him anymore though. Like he sort of like flits away, maybe in the forest, maybe just behind the furniture.
I float. I fleetly flee. I fly.
Filnyr, how about you?
So, where did the maps end up? I asked for them, I think, and then
you got them.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the maps of the Godstone. Okay.
It's big. I mean, it's like probably 50 or 60 bound pages.
I'm taking one with
pages.
me to show as an example to Besla.
Okay.
So there was also, if I remember, there was that one druid who got pulled into the town.
DB. Yeah.
DB.
Yeah. You can't see him because you're now outside of the city wall.
Right.
So you guys ended up you're in the footprint of the tower that was on, it turns out it was on the outside of the city wall, although there is a gate very nearby that stands open because it was open into the tower.
Okay. So I think Filnyr's going to turn invisible again and just sort of, not dig too deep on loot and stuff, but, sort of peruse the environment and see if there's anything else of note that seems special or, magical, or any other signs that would point to there being another alchemist, as if what we've been told isn't accurate.
Yeah. All right. So let's get, and so you're sort of actively looking around at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you perception first.
Okay.
There is still one more thing in this field that I think we're going to get to.
Okay. All right. So perception, 10. My passive is a 16, but obviously actively looking around. Maybe I'm swimming in my head a bit.
So this is going to be more a function of how long it takes you to find the stuff that you're looking for.
Okay.
So if you're willing to put in the hours, like this is with a 10, this is about an hour long thing to kind of like really check out. And I'm imagining you're going to be sort of walking around the actual, like what used to be the footprint of this tower.
Yeah.
And John, if you want, because this is going to take a little while, if you have something you want to be doing, let me know, or else I can just go ahead and skip the hour and adjudicate it with Filnyr.
No, I'm going to be in there switching a spell or two. If it will help Filnyr, Ionus would probably send Saber out to kind of sniff around a couple of things, or maybe put his senses into Saber to see if he can see anything laying around.
Sure. All right. So you do find after about an hour, and it's mostly because shit just fell down from the tower, like it just was covering this up.
Sure.
There is an entrance into an undercroft that looks very similar to the entrance at the Trip God Temple that was out on the gift. It is very well hidden, even though it was on top, it was underneath this tower. It clearly had been built long before. It seems like this is probably, they've chose this place to put the tower because this thing was here, because there's nothing else but grass.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just not the right place for this, and it's far away from where the chest was and the golems. And so they also kept their shit separate. What's that?
Is it also distant from where we came out, where we first saw the bilberry storage and all that stuff?
Oh yes, that's actually in the town center. That's actually in the marketplace.
Right, okay.
This is just like in the footprint of the tower itself, of the palace and the tower. So it's sort of like the basement of that.
Sure.
But clearly difficult to get to, and you don't have any way of knowing what the illusion was like when it was totally covering it up. Probably there was no way to see it or find it through the illusion that had once been there. This just takes you steps down, and there's a couple of pieces of wood that had been just kind of laid on top of it, and there is a stone door that has 6 holes in it that are each about 3-inch radius, so 6-inch diameter. So, easily big enough to fit your arm in, and dark through them. Oh, I guess you can see through it.
Yeah, I mean, I could look into them and see if they end or if they tunnel through.
Yeah, so give me an investigation check with advantage with your devil sight.
Okay. See if this works any better. 16.
So each one of these holes has it looks like a small lever about 2.5 feet in, 2.5, 3 feet in. And your devil's sight is quite good. And it's actually, they are all numbered. And let me give you the numbers. It's lined up. There's 3 rows of these holes, so it's two holes each. It looks like a D6, like when you're just looking at it. The top 2, left to right, is 12, and then 16. And then the next row is 28 and 44, and the bottom row is 69 and 72. And there's no instructions. There's no nothing here other than that. And on with that 16 investigation, you can see that from a very long time over the one that says 44, the number 44 is actually in relief. It looks like it was etched out with acid at one point, but it's just gotten to be, it's just really faded over time there.
Okay.
But the other ones, you can maybe they had those numbers on it. Maybe there was writing above the door or on the door, but it's clear that like whatever it was etched. This is probably a limestone door, so it did not hold up to time very well at all.
And the door is where relative to the holes again? Is it between?
So the door, the holes are actually in the door.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, look, this is if the holes that go in 2 feet are any indication of the size of this door, we're talking about a giant piece of stone.
Right.
2 feet deep, 6.5 feet high. It arches. It's, there, you don't see any hinges or anything.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, there's something with these levers that will open this door.
Right. The Lord knows where it would go, because it's clearly huge. Okay, I think Filnyr would probably make his way back toward Ionus at that point, and keep an eye out for Schnobik along the way.
All right. I see Sam smiling. I think he figured it out already. Okay. No, he says no. All right. So Filnyr, you head back toward the hut. Remind me, John, is Filnyr allowed to go in the hut?
Yeah, Filnyr walks right through.
Okay. All right, Filnyr, you find Ionus in there doing his thing with his books, leafing around through them. We'll come there. Can we get back to you in a second, John? Is that okay?
Yep.
Can we handle the Schnobik confab? All right, Sam, you're gonna commune with the white lady.
So do I have all of the control rods now?
You have all the control rods that you know about. Every one of the alchemist bodies had a control rod in it.
And we know what happened to Carl's too?
James would, maybe. James would probably know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Bezleth.
So I'm going to assume Bezleth's got that one under control.
Yeah.
Last time I saw her, she was a little manic, right?
Yes. She wanted you to kill. And there was a whole thing between Filnyr and her, and
Is
and
Corrine still in the
Ionus.
force cage?
No, she's dead.
No, we killed her.
Oh, we
she's
killed
dead.
her. That's right.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah, she
Dead
got
ski.
exploded.
She was smoked.
Yeah. Exploded by an arrowhead. It was like one of those Rambo arrows from First Blood Part 2.
My lady, success? And I shrug and hold up the sack of control rods.
You very, very good. You disobeyed me openly. My last.
My lady, I'm concerned that you are not yourself.
I've never been more clear myself than in this moment. All of your brothers are gone. I cannot sense them. I cannot hear them.
I was told they were destroyed, my lady.
The only one who would know is your maker. Your true maker. Heinrich would know.
You
I
did
was
not see
charnel,
them fall.
I did not see them fall, no.
I know that if they were still alive and able, they would be here.
Yes, that is true. Although times are weird. I sense the demons coming. I sense them. I feel them. I've never been more sure about anything in my life.
My lady, I do not know how urgent this may be, but we do not know where Havis Corvair has fled.
Do you know what will bring him back?
My current understanding is that only a message from the alchemists would bring him back, and they are all dead. He also does not know that At least this is Helspeth's word, that 20 years for him will not merely be a day here, it will be 20 years as well. So this may be a problem that we have decades to solve.
That just doesn't seem right, my last. Elspeth, why would she give you this information?
Well, to kill the alchemists. That was the proximate result of giving us that information.
True. And without the alchemists here, she can have her boy back.
Her boy.
Except Havis. She wants him the way Corrine wanted him.
Indeed.
My only concern... it hurts my head, Schnobik. With that many men, I do not believe he would be able to just... I don't believe he would just be able to come out with his own magic. There must be something else at play.
I see no reason to disagree.
So do you think she sits down and sits cross-legged on the ground in front of you. Do you think
that Helspeth is in league with Havis?
Could she be? Could he know?
I do. If his intent is to flood the valley, to thwart her, how could they be in league together?
That's true. And Griggly would certainly have something to say about that. I think you need to get more information, my last.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
I think I know. The half-elf you travel with, there's more to him than it seems.
Yes.
The one that he calls his sister. She could answer these questions for you.
She could. She has retired to some far country, last I was aware.
If she knows the half-elf has remembered, she will do all she can to help him forget again.
Remembered
Yes.
What?
Yes, this is the plan. This is it. Go back to your once brother. Convince him to return to the small human settlement. Do it quick. And send for Galwinia. She will come in a heartbeat.
And our message is that the day is won. Adair has retreated. Jesus of Waterdeep's forces are routed.
Yes.
Havis Corvair is put away in a pocket.
And
it is safe to return.
Omagyra remembers. That is what will bring her back. Nothing else. Yes, this is it. Give me the control rods.
Happily. I hand them all over to
her. And she says, remove me from this golem body and strike each one of these control rods with my frost until they crumple into dust.
Yes. I do that.
Okay. All right.
And then I speak with her. Yet we do not know the fate of my brothers nor of the alchemist Carl. Am I to understand?
Carl, I believe, is the one who has killed your brothers.
Yes.
Carl is very dangerous.
Carl has the one remaining control rod.
Didn't James kill Carl?
That's what we thought, but we don't know.
Yeah, James did kill Carl. Sorry about that. Yes, James has the wand. You have James's wand. I'm sorry. Sorry, you got it. James
I
did
just
kill
didn't know.
Carl.
I didn't know if he knew there was a control wand. I just knew that.
Well,
they,
that was
right.
my concern too. It's like I don't know if he knew there was a control rod there to get,
Yeah, James did not know about the control rod, so he did not
and so
bring
we
the
don't
control
know
rod
where
back
Carl's
to you.
body is.
James knows,
But
he
James
has not.
knows.
James
Okay.
knows. Yes. Sorry.
And
All right.
James. Okay. All right.
All right.
Very good. I will. Where will you go, my lady? Would you stay with me?
I will head into these woods. I know this place quite well, actually. Here's my one concern for you, though, Schnobik. Without another sword brother, if you call me to your sword, I will not be back into my golem.
I understand.
Perhaps you bring a golem with you at all times. They are heavy, but you can. This is going to be complicated. I will stay with you if you think it's safe. I just worry what the humans will say when they see me in their midst.
No, you are correct. Here you may go back into your body, and I will only call you at greatest need.
Very well. Just remember, there will not be anyone to send me back to.
Until I find what may have happened to my brothers.
Yes. And she grabs you by the back of the head and opens her fangs up and just cuts your lip with her canines and sucks the dark dusty black that spills from your lip, and then she says, I wonder if I'll ever have a real body. I miss it. Come back soon. And she disappears into the forest.
Meta question here: do our characters know Schnobik got scrolls from Bezleth at one point several episodes ago?
Yes.
Do our characters know about those scrolls?
I seriously doubt it.
I don't think so.
I seriously doubt he's told them.
I just wasn't sure, since Filnyr went down in combat, if there was discussion of the resurrection scroll of, like, I got him, whatever, let's deal with this. I don't remember. So
I don't think those things were mentioned. We were too busy worrying about what we had on us, and it all went very fast.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. All right, we're back in the hut.
So I don't know how long it would have taken him to smash all those control rods, or if Filnyr would have heard, like, clang, clang, clang.
Oh, sure.
Clang.
Sure. Yes.
And then, like, gone and watched Schnobik do it. Did that work? I remember at one point Bezleth was like, I don't know how to break these things, but I don't know. That could have been something she just told us.
So, I mean, they are definitely getting bent up to the point where when you depress the letters, they don't show up.
Okay.
But, like, they're not dust. Like, there's nothing he can do to make them dust. They're essentially lead. It's very soft, so he's able to dent them up to the point where they may not be able to be usable.
This whole story is just like a lead poisoning hallucination, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Can I speak to James real quick?
Let's get back to it in a second.
Okay.
We're gonna go to Ionus.
Has Filnyr walked in?
Yeah, so
Filnyr's
Filnyr
in there
will
with you.
see Schnobik do it, kind of observe whether it's making a difference or if these things are doing, and then go back to Schnobik with the discovery of the basement under where the tower would be.
Go back to Schnobik?
Sorry,
Ionus,
no.
Yeah.
We'll go back to Ionus with the discovery of what the tower would be, or where the basement was under where the tower would be. Schnobik is banging on control rods as if to destroy them. It did not appear to work, but I don't mind him continuing to try. Ionus, I came across what clearly was a covered hole where the tower stood, with a basement temple, much like on Robert's gift. Only this one did not have runes in a teleportation circle. So I am trying to wrap my head around what this might be. And I am still, to be candid, trying to come to terms with what I saw earlier. And it may be hard, but I do want to believe that you were not trying to hurt me.
Filnyr, I need you to tell me exactly what happened.
When?
When you saw that knife.
I came to after some hallucination or what felt like a dream. You know, the dreams that manifest and make you wake up thinking you had just lived a whole other life. And I had seen that knife before in that dream. And in that dream, that knife had been the cause of my death. But not just once. So as you can imagine, seeing a weapon that was the end of you shook me to my bones, and I had to assume the worst.
That I understand. What I don't understand is the past lives and the fact that other people on this island have knowledge of them, and you do not.
What? Ionus, where did Mr. Percy learn his magic?
Obviously, if I had found out, he would have made me forget.
Exactly. Who else can make us forget?
You've got me.
I think that is something that we should discover, and quickly. Because if that was not a dream, if those were true memories, then I worry. I fear for the valley, for myself, for you, for all that I care about. It is not an outcome I want to see happen again. But there was a feeling in that dream every time that something took it out of my own control and put it into motion. And seeing that knife almost seemed like it was such a triggering event, the kind of thing that would stray me from my own goals, my own wants, my desire to see things safe and prosperous. It almost broke my mind, Ionus.
Filnyr, you've been my brother in this. It is obvious that we, together, were pulled into something far greater than ourselves. But I must admit, I've never known anyone like you. I don't think anyone has.
Is that a compliment? Oh, you hesitated.
Yesterday it would have been. Yesterday it would have been. But, I mean, my troubles are no different, but your powers, your abilities, the things that you are wrapped up in, they've gotten us into trouble before. And you haven't had much knowledge about what was going on then either. So, I just need you this time around. I just need you to be forthcoming. If I'm going to help you. Now,
Can you help me?
When you saw the knife, did you see anyone else? Is there anyone that we might recognize? Is there anyone who can help us? There are people here that seem to have run into you hundreds of years ago. Perhaps we could answer some questions.
Poppy and Crutch. You did not meet them. Do you remember when I was in the tower and I disappeared? And you saw the staff, I presume. When I used the staff, and I spoke to the other people that were in the library. They were alchemists, and they were friends of mine from long ago, I guess. I could hardly recall them, but there was a familiarity that just, it just came up. I knew them, even though I could not remember. That's where I learned to cook. I wish that they had made it, but they fell when the tower disappeared, and those would be the people that would have the answer. So I do not know what to do.
And there was no one else.
It was also terrifying, Ionus. I can't remember.
Perhaps you're onto something, bringing up Mr. Percy. Maybe he knows, if he knows how to take memories, perhaps he knows a way to put them back.
Huh. I had not thought of that. He can certainly put flavor into fish. Perhaps you were right. Let us hope so. How long should we stay here?
Well, I am planning on getting a full rest.
We are safe in here.
We need to collect whatever's in this basement of this building.
I don't think it will be easy. So, to explain, there are 6 holes with...
Oh, no, not that one. The one that we entered on.
Oh, you want to go back?
Yes, we need to go back to that basement and collect all the spell components and collect all the rations and everything that Havis was going to use to attack us with.
Do you have a place to put them?
Yes.
Oh.
But I need to sleep.
Understood. Well, do me a favor. Lend me your brain for this hole that I found under the tower.
Yes, forgive me. Should I send Saber out to take another look?
I didn't... How good can he see in the dark?
Well, he can... Is it that dark? How
It's
dark is it?
Very dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
Thought
The
it was
kind
like
of
midday.
darkness you hate, Ionus.
Oh, it's
Okay.
just 2 feet into this thing. That's it, even if the sun is not completely gone, it's underground, and this wall is dark. It's pitch black down there.
Okay. I'm going to send him over there anyway. See if there's something he can scamper into, or if there's a hole that I can see through that I can send him down deeper in, or something like that. I'll just send him over there. I'm not going to look
Ionus,
at
how studied were you with maths?
fairly studied.
So, imagine, if you will, a die, 6-sided, pips. But instead of a die, the 6th side is a door, and the pips are holes. And if you reach into the holes, into darkness that is very hard to see through, there are levers. There are 6 levers, and next to the levers, barely visible, are numbers.
All
Now,
right.
if you will, the top row, much like the pips, 2 holes, 12 and 16. The second row, 28 and 44. Now, a thought occurred to me. 12 and 16 is 28. So, strange. Right? The third
bad.
row, 69 and 72. Now, there's only even numbers on 5 of these, and nothing would add up to 69 with only even numbers. But 28 and 44 is 72.
Past 72. Very good. So
It seems too simple to pull the odd one because it's odd, but it is odd in all of the meanings.
was there anything strange about any of the other numbers?
One was a bit harder to see than the others.
Which one was that?
Well, 44 looked like it had been worn off and then somewhat recomposed in a weird way. But I don't know why any of it would be the way it is.
That is strange. and then nothing, were we to pull certain levers, nothing, no clues as to whether to pull the 12 or the 16?
It had about as much information as our scroll of Donatus, if you recall, when we first got that. Just a presentation in front of me.
Indeed.
Ruminate a bit, would you? Let's rest. Perhaps an answer will come.
I nod and I finish learning the demiplane spell. And then I close my eyes for a bit.
Okay. And we'll go back to Schnobik, and then I assume you guys are going to get back together.
James.
Okay. Let me get James. Let me find James.
James, we must speak urgently.
Schnobik. That's not it. Let's see.
Sounded pretty good.
Schnobik. Schnobik. Hello. It's good to see you again, or hear your voice again.
I must hear more of your battle with the alchemist Carl.
Well, I can say that he used special glove, and he punched me very much, and then I tried to use my nails, and then I tried to bite him, but he's very fast, and so I just decided to finger death him, and so I finger deathed him.
Good.
It was satisfying, but I'm finding, since changes are happening, I am very much feeling like I don't want to finger death people because there's a lot less left over after finger deathing them. I find that actually using teeth and nails is quite satisfying. I find that I have much more powerful muscles
Indeed.
than I had before.
But good to be able to finger death when it may be required.
When needed. He was definitely going to take James's head away from body, for sure. Now,
What happened
here's a question to you.
What happened to his special glove?
Well, see, when I finger death, poof, everything goes. So I finger deathed him, and he just sort of, what is the word for this? All the bits and pieces turned to dust.
So there was nothing remaining, nothing he was holding, nothing, no amulets.
Very
no
common
devices.
with finger death.
It was all
Yes.
finger deathed.
It was all finger deathed.
Was any indication given of what may have happened to the others, my brothers who fought him before?
You see, you called me back very soon after, and I was not finished exploring. I had eaten 2 dwarves. I had to stop for feeling better, getting energy back up. So there was a part of the caves that I had not been in before. Just to be clear, Carl found James.
Mm-hmm.
I did not find Carl. He was looking for me.
Very good, James.
I was hearing very good.
Can you finger death non-living things, James?
Oh, very much. Sure, of course I can.
How many times can you finger death before
Exactly
having
what I was
to rest
thinking, isn't it?
again?
Well, today, because I've been moving around all over place, I have very little juice left in me. I could finger death one more thing.
But what if you rest? How many times? What if
1,
I
2,
were
3,
to
4.
take?
I could 4 finger death.
I have the. I'm assuming I've kept the beat up control rods.
Sure. Yeah.
What if I were to combine these together into one object? Put them together into some sort of like a rod man.
make a rod man from sure. It looks like a lead.
Could you finger death them all at once?
Could you perhaps melt them together so they are one thing?
Wow.
Maybe I
Yes.
could.
Yes. With little rod arms and rod legs.
John's face right now. John is hating this. Sure, Master. I can
John's
try to
loving
finger
this.
death.
That's why John listens to this podcast. Just for
Yeah,
this.
yeah, just for this moments like this.
Yeah. I will finger death your rod man. Sure, absolutely, Master.
Very good. Well, we should find a place to rest. Have you managed to eat?
James has eaten very much, actually. Sorry,
Good.
Master. There was an elf that was walking in square. I know you said not to eat him, but I thought that meant for right now. And when I ate him, it wasn't right now when you said. So it seemed okay.
Do I have like levers to punish him? Can I cause him pain or distress?
Sure. Yeah, I'll let you cause him some pain. Sure. Yeah.
I squeeze on his brain a little bit.
Oh, Master, why? I did not do anything, Master.
James.
Oh.
You must obey your master in all particulars.
But forever?
Forever. And this game of trying to find loopholes in the things that I have told you, it will not be borne. This is not a contract. What I tell you, you should attempt to fulfill it as I have meant it, and you should divine my intuition. Do it poorly, and there will be consequences.
So you do feel him trying to resist the squeeze, but he cannot. And you feel him. He is in pain, and he says, okay. So, Master, what I'm hearing is you tell me to do something. I continue doing that thing until you tell me some other command.
You should divine my will.
Oh,
and if you
difficult.
do not know what my will is, you should seek further clarification. It is not important that my word be done. It is that my will be done.
James is learning how to not be, top dog.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
James, we work together. You are part of me. And you will divine comfort and all your needs met.
It did feel, Master, that my hunger was also from you, and I was trying to feed our hunger.
Yes.
But I
learning
will ask
to
next
deny
time.
your hunger is also my will.
Okay. He's very upset by this. And you definitely sense, maybe for the first time, a little bit of rebellious spirit in him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He does not like you, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Or this situation.
No, of course not.
Okay. Okay.
James, you must accommodate yourself to these new circumstances. You will never be as you were before. Things will never be as they were before.
I think James understands.
Yes, and just as I must obey my sire's will and you must obey mine, there's a hierarchy here that we all must follow.
It doesn't seem very fair, but
Well,
I will do your will.
What in this world has ever been fair? Yes, you are used to being master, and now you must accommodate yourself to a new role. But there's also a freedom in that. Freedom from responsibility, from having to make the big decisions. I trust you will learn to enjoy it.
Yeah, he nods and he Says, if I find a dwarf in the Underdark, may I eat the dwarf?
Yes, any dwarves in the Underdark are yours to claim.
Oh, there's many dwarfs. Thank you, master.
Well, this is where I will send you after we have had time to rest.
Thank you.
You must find what has happened to the other vampires that Carl may have destroyed. Do they yet live? Live, I do air quotes.
Yeah. Yes, I will find whatever is left of them.
Good. Now let us find a dark place to sleep for a bit.
I can lay on top of you.
Even better, you may lay by my side.
Very good. Yeah, you find pieces of furniture that are up to the task.
Okay.
And I assume you all get your full rest.
Get half
It
my hit
is
dice back based on half the
awesome.
level.
It is around 4:00 in the morning when you are all done with your full rest. Just a reminder, Havis was supposedly going to arrive around 10:00 in the morning, before noon on this very day.
Mm-hmm.
So according to that, assuming everything went as planned, you're fine. If things didn't go according to plan, you're talking about around 8:00. I mean, around 6 more hours before he shows up.
Or before he was scheduled to show up.
I hang out outside the hut in the pre-dawn hours.
Okay.
Waiting for the gang to wake up.
All right.
It's half your hit dice rounded up, right?
Is it rounded up?
Yes, I think that's right.
Well, that's good.
You should get 8 back.
Yep.
Spell slots.
Only 7 D10s though. 7 D10s and 1 D6.
I'll take 7d10s.
Oh, right. I forgot. I've got 2 different kinds of hit dice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So what are you guys going to do? You're going to head back to town? You're going to push stuff into a demiplane?
Yeah, the tiny hut comes down. We don't know where Havis's ascended ore is.
No.
We have no way of finding it.
I mean, you could contact him.
I can't contact who? Havis?
Yeah.
I can't contact him. I don't know who he is.
Oh, you don't know him. Okay.
So I can't. I wouldn't even know what to say or what to do. Saber comes back to me with information about what Filnyr found.
Sure. Yeah.
Was there anywhere that he could weasel in or anything like that?
He sniffed around. He climbed into those holes. He discovered that they do all have these levers in them. As best he could tell, they were all operable.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a perception check.
I get to roll something.
Yeah.
Perception is terrible though.
Yeah.
So, it's all right. 10.
Yeah, the 12. Inside the 12 hole, he found a piece of bone that he brought back to you, and it is a human part of a human index finger bone.
So the hut is going to come down. He's going to run up to me and give me this finger bone, and I'm going to look it over. And I would say, well, Filnyr, this could be good, could be bad. My theory as I was laying down to rest was that there are 6 numbers. The first number is 12. The last number is 72. And 72 divided by 6 is 12.
Yes.
So I thought the numbers would be 12, and then 28, and then 72.
Why 28?
Because you said the 16 and 12 were 28, and then the 12 and 44 were 72, and then 72 divided by 6 was 12. Those were the only numbers that had any connections. But Saber found this index finger in the 12 hole, so I'm just going to hand that to you and get back to my business.
I don't know why you think I would want that.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll figure something out. And I head toward the basement of the
Where we came in.
yeah. What's that area that you called it?
It's a
town.
storeroom.
Storeroom.
Well, but the area on top of it, what was that? Just a
The square.
square. Yeah. So I go into the storeroom beneath, and I cast Demiplane, and I cast Bigby's hand, and I move all of that stuff into the Demiplane.
Awesome. It's so
Just
cool.
sweeping that desk clear
I just empty the entire room.
right into the
Demiplane
trash
is
can.
Demiplane is a 30 by 30 room, so I'm assuming that it can hold every bit of it.
You can 30 by 30. I mean, if you carefully stack everything like a mover, like a legit mover who knows exactly how big his truck is,
Mhm.
you can fit 95% of the food in there. Probably not safe for using all the magical components. It's just going to be really, really, really full. But you could get it in there without the goal of reusing it yourself. Probably.
Well, so
It's 30 by 30 by 30, right? I mean, we're talking about a 30-foot cube,
exactly.
right? So you could fit all of it in there. It's just going to be packed.
But that's the whole idea, is that it's all
Okay.
And I would be more focused on the spell components than the food. If I left a little bit of food behind,
Sure.
it's not the end of the world, because they can't
You
they
can,
can't function
you
off
can
of
pack
a little
it
bit
close
of
to the demi-plane door.
Uh-huh.
So like you make a little carve out. So there's a little like 5x5 area in there that you put as many of the spell components in there as possible.
I just like the idea of the hand like gingerly sliding things in.
Yes.
Building a little Jenga tower. Yeah.
There you go,
Yeah.
Jenga tower stuff. Once the Demiplane closes, it whatever happens in there happens. But I'm hoping
What
that the
happens in
spell
demiplane stays in
stays
the
in the
demiplane.
Demiplane,
Am I
baby.
right?
I'm just thinking about John's closet when he was living up in oh God, what's the name of the town north of New York that you used to live in?
Oh, Mount Vernon?
Mount Vernon, yeah. There was he had a single closet that was in Mount Vernon that was like his everything closet, and it was you can put it all in there and you just stand back and hope the door doesn't open up. That's kind of how I'm imagining you're doing
small
this thing.
apartments, man, old buildings.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
didn't have shit back in the day.
My son is 6 years old. He had to clean his room the other day. I went in there. It was clean. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I said, wait, did you just shove everything in the closet? And he went, he gave me a little sheepish look, and I opened the closet and it was just like stacked, just piled in there. And I went, I got a little tear in my eye. I said, my boy.
Oh God, that's so terrible.
Gotta be proud of the beginning ingenuity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's like he's just like his old man.
Yeah, right.
Hilarious. So yeah, I'll close all that, and once I'm satisfied that we have crippled this war effort.
Yeah, you've done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
Like they clearly needed this. You've killed all his lieutenants, destroyed his tower. I mean, if nothing else, he is definitely coming looking for you. When you come back.
In 20 years.
In 20
Yeah,
years.
That's right.
Hopefully.
And that, I mean, at this point, I know that I'm the one that has to deal with, me and my friends, but I know that I'm the one that has to deal with him. And so
that's
at
what
this
I
point,
call future Schnobik's problem.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just like, if he comes for me, he comes for me. But I've stopped this thing. And then, while I'm doing it, I'll just be on the lookout for if I can see his his ascended ore at all, I'm just going to be on the lookout for it. But
Yeah, you're not going to find it. I'm just going to tell you that it's not
okay.
here.
All right.
What I will tell you is that DB, his body is no longer in the square in the morning. The guards are gone. So like basically it was a skeleton crew before. It is a nothing crew now. This is an abandoned city entirely. You don't hear the drums outside. You don't see or smell smoke from fires. There was an awful lot of elves that were out there, that kind of marched on the town, and DB came in by himself to fight Corrine. Like, so he's gone and his people are gone and the guards are gone. Everyone's gone.
Okay. All right. All right. I just come back out and I say, well, I think we've done what we've come here to do. Unless you've got any more ideas on this puzzle that you have presented me, Filnyr. I think there are also other things that we need to look into.
Right. Puzzle. Explain it to me again.
I found a door. Or a stone that looks like it could be a door. 6 levers. Numbers by them. No further instructions. They don't make sense.
And we just have him repeat the whole thing again.
Yeah, he's going to tell you. Is that right, Filnyr?
No, I was going to keep it brief.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You must pull the lever marked 69. You must. It is imperative.
Why?
Because I firmly believe it will be funny.
You're welcome to try.
I also firmly believe that of these 3 guys, Schnobik is the only one who knows what a 69 is.
Also true. Also true.
My 6-year-old claims that's his favorite number and then keeps asking, like, why it's not okay for it to be his favorite number.
No, he knows. Dude, he knows.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't know.
He just heard somebody say.
Yeah.
No, he's watched enough YouTube for somebody to be like 69 is his favorite number, so he's like adopted the same thing, and then so he'll be like, "Daddy, what does it mean?" I'm like, "It's just a number." Yeah, it's just a number.
Yeah.
And then my wife was like, "Yeah, it's just a number." And then my 9-year-old was like, "Why don't you tell him?"
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Yeah, right.
dude,
Yeah.
it's just a number.
Daddy, my bike lock combination is 42069.
Oh man, it's true.
I think the one thing Filnyr would want to do before we leave, and I don't know if he would want to pull the levers, but I think he would, if we were going to try them, definitely be like, use a mage hand. In case this door just like, you do the 69, the door just like drops out from under there, just take
Filnyr,
your
are
arm off.
you familiar with a 68? That is where you do me and then I owe you one.
It's so stupid.
Ridiculous.
I can't. It's so dumb. All right.
Filnyr, if you would like, I could use my mage hand and try to pull some of these. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't know what will happen either. And I
Pull it. Pull it. Who's saying that?
Another thought that occurred to me, Filnyr, was that the only 2 numbers that don't have to do with anything are 44 and 69, and you said 44 looked strange.
why does 44 not have to do with anything? It's it plus 28 is how you get 72.
Well, that's true.
The
But nothing adds to give you it.
Well, no. Nor 69.
That's
28
what I
and
mean.
16 is 44.
Ah,
Well, forget it.
12 and
69.
16 is 28.
So perhaps
28
perhaps
and
you'll
16 is 44. 44 and 28 is 72. It is imperative to pull the lever march 69.
well, if you're up for the unexpected.
Always. When I take 2 steps back.
Ionus will walk up. You don't have mage hand, right, Filnyr?
No.
Ionus walks up 30 feet away, and well, I guess I have to kind of see it, don't I?
You kind of have to.
All right,
Well,
this is
I
what I'm
mean-
going to do. I'm going to see it. I'm going to put the mage hand on it. I'm going to step back 30 feet, and then I'm going
Good.
to pull it.
What's the how do you sense with mage hand? Can you, in your mind, can you feel, or is it more like it's like you're telling it what to do? You don't get feedback. There's no haptic response in your brain.
I think you sort of know what's happening, but it feels like a stranger's doing it, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would feel some resistance if something was heavier. You know what I mean? Because I can only lift a certain amount of.
It's like 5
Weight.
pounds you can do, or
Well,
something
I
like
could
that.
think
watch
it's
the
10
hand
pounds.
too. I can watch it and see if it actually
Yeah.
goes.
So I don't think it's enough. I don't think your mage hand is enough to turn it.
Oh, really?
Is it 15 pounds will probably turn it. If it's 15 pounds, what's the
Well, I don't think Ionus could do that with his arms.
with my regular hand.
uh
I think mage hand's limit is 10 pounds.
is it? Okay.
He can barely lift a tankard of ale to his mouth.
Yeah, I mean it's not turning.
Yeah, I can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
Tie an end of a rope to it and pull with that.
Bigby's hand is still there.
It's too big,
I
right?
could pull
Bigby's
the
hand
whole
is
thing
large.
out of the ground.
What you feel is that it turns. You can tell that it turns. It doesn't you're not able to turn it properly with your mage hand.
Mhm.
If it pulls, it requires a turn before a pull.
Like an unlocking mechanism of some sort.
But you can tell that it's operable. Like you can definitely tell, like it's moving a little bit. It's moving a little bit.
Like you got to pull it with like a corkscrew motion.
Yeah.
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 I mean, so if they're like 2.5 feet in, I mean, you basically have to have most of your arm in that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That is the idea.
Yeah.
I don't know who else would know about these. And I don't know that any of us wants to lose an arm, potentially.
I've already lost a finger. I don't recommend it.
Yes, your tongue is funny too.
Yeah.
Yes.
His tongue is messed
Don't
up.
don't remind me.
Didn't you find a finger earlier? Can you use that one?
Can I use the finger?
Oh,
Show him the finger,
I just mean you
Ionus,
were
and let's
short
be
a
on with
finger,
it.
and now you've gained a finger.
And that was all he found was a finger.
Finger bone.
The
Just a bone.
gods taketh, and the gods giveth.
Thank you very much, Schnobik.
So this is the first time you've actually been at the door, right, John? Like
Yeah.
Ionus has not been there, and Schnobik, you haven't been there either, right?
But I did
Right.
see what Saber like showed me what he saw.
So I'm assuming you're all gonna examine this area. I'll give
You want me to do an
yeah.
investigation
I
check?
think
I'll
we
give
would
you all an
turn around.
investigation check one more time.
Check the other walls, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Schnobik 7 investigation.
Okay.
Straight roll, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there are definitely
22.
levers.
For Ionus.
4 for Filnyr.
Okay. So this is what you like. You're examining it, and you find a trap. you're almost positive it's a trap. It's like maybe not. In the 69 hole, right about where your wrist would be, there is a thin channel that goes entirely around the hole. Like there's a channel all the way around, so it's basically like there is like it's so thin, but you kind of get your hand up on it and you touch there and you feel a blade in this channel. In the 69 hole. You do not feel them in any of the other holes.
So
All right, Schnobik.
perhaps
slide
we
your
pull
member into
all
the 69
other
hole.
levers in order. Oh yeah, Ionus hasn't necessarily told me yet. It's a
Right.
shame.
Well-
It's my favorite inn in Monterey. It's called the 69 hole.
Oh God. It's strange, Schnobik, but it appears that you have chosen the one hole we shouldn't have actually messed with.
There's a
Well,
surprise.
There's a blade here. This one's trapped.
If I have any talent, it's finding the one hole I shouldn't have messed with.
There's no runes in this place, right? Like where there would be a teleportation circle or anything like that,
It's
right?
basically like stairs that go down, a small landing that blocks the light coming in from the outside, and it's about 10 feet in, and then it's just this wall. Like
Oi, I tire of this, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pull the levers in numerical order, skipping the 69 hole.
Okay, so
Ka-chink, 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 ka-chink.
Filnyr's gonna
so the
put Quiet Dark into a blade and pull out his shield and stand ready.
okay, so when you turn one and pull it out,
Mhm.
the others don't pull out. But you futz with it and you use a second arm and you realize you can turn two at the same time. And if you turn two at the same time, you can pull those two out.
Are you sure I can't?
What?
I mean, I'm pretty good at pulling out.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll?
Oh my God.
Or
Oh my God.
Oh, God. Sam,
Man,
Still going
unleashed.
for that
He's out.
69. He's still going for the
He's out
69.
Tom Blaylocking me tonight. Yeah.
Well, it appears as though we need to pull two.
Are you sure we just pull two?
Well, we could try pulling three at the same time. If you're man enough to stick your arm in one of these holes, Filnyr, so quoth the queen.
There are 5 holes that seem connected.
Yes, let's pull all 5 at once and see what happens.
When he pulled the two out, were they two from separate sides?
Yeah. I assume he did 12 and 16 or something together.
So on the
Yeah,
same
that's
side.
as far as I can reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could definitely each take 2 holes and one of you take 1 hole and you could turn them all at the same time. I assume that's where you're heading.
Well,
Let us.
I'll try 72.
Mm.
You guys gonna do it all together?
12. I got 12 and 16. Filnyr, take 28 and 44.
Am I reaching around you? You're standing in the middle. You're reaching the top, and I'm standing behind. I'm standing in front. Why don't you take 12 and 28?
Ugh,
And I'll take 16 and 44.
this is as
So we have-
complicated as the last 69 I was in.
Yes, they are perhaps overrated.
So overrated. So overrated.
I
Even
really
in
felt
college.
like I was more focused on what I was doing to really enjoy it.
I feel like I was just having this conversation.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the context of parenting a child whose favorite number is 69, it leads to other conversations when the children aren't around. Overrated. Anyway. All right.
Now
So
stick your arm in that hole up to the shoulder, Filnyr. So quoth the queen.
yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess we're doing this. So Filnyr will take 1644, Schnobik 1228, and I guess Ionus will be down low on 72.
72. Okay. Okay.
Now
And then
pull,
wait, together.
but with a twisting motion.
Yes. Twist and
I feel as
Twist
though
and
that is
tug.
how this box likes it.
Okay.
twist and tug. And Schnobik, keep your feet clear of 69. And all your
right.
body parts clear of 69.
All right. So you guys reach in to the holes.
I really hope
Oh,
nothing
glory.
happens.
Yeah. You count to 3. You all turn your handle. They all move easily together. And then Schnobik gives the last word to yank and pull the lever out toward you. And as you're pulling this lever toward you, each one of you feels light and airy. And everything is dark in this hole that you're in. And the only person this is weird for is Filnyr, because you go from being able to see, in your sort of like tinged red devil's sight, however it looks for that, and then everything is pitch black for you. Like, that's pitch black. You do not see your friends. You do not see anything in here. And you all then are standing suddenly on a large boulder with your hands on the boulder right below numbers. Ionus, you're standing with your hand next to the number 72. Filnyr, you have your hand next to the numbers 28 and 44. And Schnobik, you have your hands underneath 12 and 16.
Damn
And
the numbers. Where are we?
and you are
Close enough.
you are the sun is up. It looks like it's high
Oh
noon.
no.
And you
We found Avis, guys.
see there's nothing here in this field except rocks, and in the far, far, far distance you can see a tower rising up from the woods, and it looks identical to the acid and cold towers that you just made disappear in Havis's city. Fuck.
Was this the? Was that the ascended?
I believe we have found where Master
Haves.
Corvair has fled to.
He's in towers in his own ascended door. The door is ore. Fuck, we should have been more careful.
Or are we exactly where we need to be? No, I take that back. We should have been more careful.
and as you're having this conversation, you realize this boulder is probably 75 feet in diameter. It's vaguely round, but it's
75
covered.
feet.
What's that?
75 feet in diameter?
75 feet. Yes.
So okay.
It looks like a half buried bowling ball that is giant and stone. And you realize as you're sort of like stepping back from this thing, it's covered in numbers. Like you're seeing numbers in the 4 and 5 digits in like as it like reaches up to certain, like on certain places in this rock. There are so many. You are in a very small portion of it with single digit numbers. And in the sky, far, far away, let's say probably 3 miles away, you see that there are 2 things in flight, and they seem to be circling above where those towers are. And God help you with your eyes so clear. There are 2 dragons flying around that tower. And that's where we're going to end episode 87 of Everywhere Must End, the Dungeon Dads podcast.
How do we go back?
John, you always wanted more dragons. Look what you got us now.
I got a ton of them now, man.
Into a dungeon, went through a door, and now there's 2 dragons.
I have no idea what just happened.
I mean, you found your way in
Mm-hmm.
somewhere.
Now I got to rifle through some maps.
And then
You
this
do have
giant
some
boulder
maps.
with all these numbers.
Couldn't have got all those people in 3 at a time, right?
Nope. You certainly did not find the only way in.
Yeah. Damn.
I guess we got lots to talk about.
I think we have a lot to talk about. Yeah. Come on back next week, everybody, as
Yeah.
we unpack a little bit of this like ending of this episode and I don't know, some of these new plans that they're making.
And some of the
It's not
only
over.
people who know Havis Corvair or has been tuned
Yep.
Yeah.
have now shown up inside it. Yeah.
Well, we wanted to get them out somehow.
Shit.
Yeah. I guess the only question is he going to recognize any of you? And at least one of you, I think, probably yes.
Probably.
Yeah. So,
Toodaloo.
toodaloo, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Come on back next week.
Chubba